real tough for fantasy, and it's tough for Jalen Hurts, obviously, who's making an MVP push.
Could miss 1 to 2 weeks here for Philadelphia. Not that I'm happy that he's hurt, but like I'm not mad that I get to see Gardner Minshew running around and just being an absolute goofball out there.
I don't know what it looks like with Gardner Minshew back there. It's a little troublesome.
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
Maybe the greatest catch I've ever seen.
He's banged up. We're talking about Jalen Hurts. Breaking news here on this Monday afternoon, but could miss 1 to 2 weeks here for Philadelphia. And, you know, I guess what are your thoughts on what that means for the Philadelphia offense? I mean, we're going to to be honest with you, not that I'm happy that he's hurt, but like I'm not mad that I get to see Gardner Minshew running around and just being an absolute goofball out there.
No. Yeah, you can stand alone on that
Okay.
island.
Right,
I'm not
That's
interested. I'm not interested in Gardner Minshew and his nonsense infecting the waters of AJ Brown or Devontae Smith or anything like that. I mean, shoot, I'll tell you what, I hope they run the ball a lot. I could use a lot more points next round in my dynasty league than 1.9 from Miles Sanders. I'll tell you that. Oh boy, real tough for fantasy, and it's tough for Jalen Hurts, obviously, who's making an MVP push, right? Because he's, I think, unfortunately, it feels like Patrick Mahomes, who's not even sniffing 30 yet, not even he's won one MVP. It's not as if he's like,
I know.
And people still seem like, well, anyone else? Well, is anyone else here? Will anyone else stand up? Will anyone else, please? We'd love it to just not be Mahomes, but like, come on. I mean, I think
he's only won one. It's like it's absurd.
I think Mahomes for me is the MVP, and he should be the runaway favorite for MVP. But Hurts was making that like narrative based push, the surprising factor push. The Eagles are still most likely going to moonwalk into the 1 seed because they still have a good team even beyond Jalen Hurts. And like I think there's a 0% chance we just don't even see him until the playoffs, right? Like which is terrifying for anybody invested in Hurts in any way. And I don't know, just so much of what they've done this year, and I do give Nick Sirianni and that coaching staff credit, Shane Steichen, the offense coordinator, they've been very chameleon-esque since they got there. They've changed their identity on the fly before. We've seen that. But still at the same time, it's just Hurts is so central to everything that they do there. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is like a system quarterback. He makes at least the current system, he makes it go. So I don't know what it looks like with Gardner Minshew back there. It's a little troublesome.
Well, I mean, there's going to, not be, any RPOs or anything like that. Gardner Minshew, just a classic, pocket quarterback. Although he's got some functional mobility. He likes to scramble around a little bit. He doesn't have the biggest arm in the whole world, but you know what it is? He's like, gosh, who is he like, man? He's like a small, undersized dude, but like, he can make plays outside of the pocket. He's got like this weird self-confidence about him as well.
He's definitely in the Heineke division, like the poor man's Ryan Fitzpatrick division, for sure. But he's not quite. I think people compare him to Fitz because he's like a caricature of a quarterback, and Fitz definitely had some of that. Total weirdo. Yeah, I mean, Hurts definitely had. Fitzpatrick definitely had some of that stuff there. But no, I don't know. I mean, I think he's very much like a kind of that prototypical, almost like a Colt McCoy-esque type of guy, like like more of a rhythm quarterback, that's timing based West Coast stuff. Like there's just so much that the Eagles did based on who Jalen Hurts is. And like, how awesome have they been on go routes this year, on just straight up vertical shots. And that's definitely not in Gardner Minshew's bag, and it is in Jalen Hurts' bag. So, some of the good thing is, like, I think, Gardner Minshew probably more of like a over the middle thrower, more of like a timing route type of guy. I think some of what AJ Brown did in Tennessee can be sort of replicable in that way, right?
Yeah, AJ Brown, what is he? 9 receptions on 16 targets, 181 on this game Sunday, third game this season with 150 plus receiving yards. Obviously a huge big play threat, but man, he eats up a lot of targets too, right? 8.4 targets per game, 5.3 receptions per game, 85.8 receiving yards per game. And man, you talk about the touchdowns, 10 touchdowns through 14 games for A.J. Brown. Incredibly impressive. I'm just trying to figure out, who do you think it hurts or helps more? Gardner Minshew thrown to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Break up that little, tandem for me. Who do you think gets impacted the most?
I mean, I think obviously it would probably be Devontae Smith just because of the target pecking order and stuff like that. But you know what terrifies me? The Eagles had become so nice and tidy from like a fantasy perspective, from a projection standpoint. And last game against the Bears was really almost like a funhouse mirror of that because it was so extreme. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith combined for 300 plus yards. Nobody else cleared 10 receiving yards. I mean, they have been, my old thing, just throw it to your good players. I said it last night during the Sunday night game when it was like, oh, Terry McLaurin coming out of halftime. This guy is good. We ought to throw it to him more often. It's like, yeah, no kidding. Just throw it to your good players. The Eagles have been the best, like, just throw it to your good players offense all year. And when Dallas Goedert was involved, or when he was out there, he was involved as well, and nobody else. I am terrified that Gardner Minshew is going to come out there and we're suddenly going to get like 6 Quez Watkins targets, or 6 backup tight end targets, or something like that. Zach Pascal is going to get 5 looks or something like that. That would be unforgivable. Okay, I can't forgive you for that, Gardner Minshew. If you mess up the flow and the rhythm of what has been the best just throw it to your good players offense we've ever seen, perhaps.